friends. Welcome back, friends. So this is 1947 in a small village. Martha is not here, no, but she knew it, and she tells the priest that France is going to be saved by the little girls, right? Prayers of children. She'll say prayers of children, and the police, the papers, you know, everybody's looking at this, and um, the Day of France. And if you would have said, it's kind of like, think, oh, the Berlin Wall is going to fall down one day. And it's, some of us are old enough to remember what a nonsensical idea that was. All right, that's what France is looking like. It looks like uh, it's just it's ripe for the picking for civil war. And oh no, little girls are going to pray, and then, by the end of that their prayer session here, France is going to have somehow averted a problem.
Yeah, it's astounding. I mean, I even like all of the, what's in the wrapped in that vision, the affirmation and the sort of the codification of prior apparitions that, perhaps Our Lady felt that she needed to recall them to the minds of the people who are there, right?
That's right.
This is what I've done. This is what I've done, and now this is what I'm doing here.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And it's a building on. It's a building on of the Magnificat. There's a building. So it's the Annunciation with the angel Gabriel. I am the
Immaculate Conception, right? And Lourdes, and then you have Lourdes,
and Catherine of Labouré. Yes, yes, and of course Fatima with this miracle with the sun. So and here's an interesting side note, that on March the 6th in 1429, St. Joan of Arc entered this very same church as St. Gilles in L'Île Bouchard on her way to Chinon, where King Charles VII would give her an army. Joan prostrated herself before the altar of the Virgin Mary, right where those little girls are, and pleaded for her assistance in her mission to liberate France from invading enemies. She was only a child of 17, yet it was her strong faith in God and her childlike trust in His Holy Mother that effectuated such a glorious victory for France. Perhaps this is what is most remarkable about the events of L'Île Bouchard in 1947, was that the Mother of God came to ask for the prayers of little children to once again save France, and that she herself came to teach them to pray.
Yeah, I thought that the church sounded familiar. I couldn't remember why the name sounded familiar, but that is because of St. Joan of Arc.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it's so interesting within France. It's such a dynamism of corruption and Catholicism. It's you have some of the worst sinners there with Robespierre and Voltaire. I don't want to say that Napoleon was a sinner necessarily, but he certainly wasn't, a dynamic Catholic. But then you have Joan of Arc, you have, the seers, the visionaries at Lourdes, you have, St. Bernadette, you have St. Catherine Labouré, and these four visionaries who I think the world has yet probably to meet.
Yes, yes, yes. So when I was reflecting on with some takeaways, and my friends, you could have very much different ones, and that's fine. I just thought, how powerful are our prayers? Our Lady, asks the little children. I'm not sure how much they would know geopolitically, right? Of what's going on in Paris from their little village, maybe something from their parents. I mean, bread and fuel and all the needs of life were sky high. I mean, we have a bit of a runaway inflation ourselves right now here in 2023, but it wasn't anything like what we're seeing with these folk. So they would have been impacted in some sense that way. But I'm not so sure they know what communists, I'm not so sure. We're talking about a 7-year-old little girl, right?
Yeah. But that piety, that powerful combination of purity and piety is really so becoming to our Lord and to Our Lady, right? Because they, in your purity and your piety, we are so similar to her.
That's correct. And I think it's one of the, well, it is a main reason, right? Children are the object, right? It's one of the things that we can do. We can co-create and bring other persons into being. Angels can, we talked about that with angels. Demons can't. All they can do is snatch that already created. So it's the children. And if we look in our society, we have very low regard for our children. That there's any conversation about drag queens or
awful. I mean, no regard for their piety or their purity. That's for sure. I mean, and even when you look into the church itself, it's forgotten I don't know how profoundly necessary. Well, I mean, not that it's a prerequisite, but how much more becoming it is that the sacraments of initiation are given to children in their purity. Before they really embrace sin after the age of reason. Once they know the choices of good and evil, we leave them bereft of the sacrament of confirmation during the years of 7 to 13 or 7 to, in my case, I was 18 years old before I was confirmed. And I'm sorry, with all due respect to myself, purity was flying out the window pretty quickly with terrible books like Judy Blume and Harlequin romances and the trash. You were just talking about a 1980s video series that you had been watching or a movie that you were watching. We're being corrupted before we're confirmed, so that by the time that we come to confirmation, and confession, at least when we were being raised, was kind of a non-starter, right? You go to confession, right? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, once a year, maybe you do, maybe you don't. And you think with these little girls that it would have been normative. The 7-year-old, they would have already been confirmed in the faith. They would have reached the culmination of maturity of initiation within the church. And so consequently, they were predisposed to bringing the fullness of their formation into their piety. And it was, because at this confirmation that I was just at this weekend, I thought it was so becoming the way that the Canon Talrico, who's the
can we pick this up? Yeah. And I want to give you a full rein because we're going to stay on this track a little bit. All right, friends, we're going to pick up with the sacraments of initiation and how they help to form these little children. Till the next episode, Fides Srachio.